Hello and welcome to Gaming Again. My name is Muzz and welcome to my thoughts and reactions to Season 2 of the Squid Games. Season 1 of the Squid Games was just a runaway success, and I think rightly so. I think the mixture of kind of violence and in-depth character development really showcased what show it was, and the with the kind of childhood games as well thrown in there, it just kind of I think was the perfect concoction for a hit TV show. So I was skeptical coming into season 2. I knew obviously if you've not seen the end of season 1, we knew there was a season 2 coming. It ends on a cliffhanger. And this is just going to be my initial thoughts. I have just finished watching it. I literally just finished the first episode but an hour ago. Kind of taking some time to think about it, and I will give perhaps a more detailed one tomorrow when I've actually slept on it. I can kind of go through and rework the TV show in my head and what parts I liked and what parts I didn't like. But the most important part is that I like it. Now, I say I like it, it's not quite falling into the love category because of a few things that I'll maybe touch on in the spoiler episode, because I think they are the ones where it maybe falls down a bit. But in terms of what I really liked about it, I like that it's more Squid Games. Like, I think they really carried over from the first season the quality and what I was looking for. The games are still there. They provide obviously the moral grey area where you see people's alliances change and you see decisions being made on the fly, and really add some real excitement. And they managed to add a bit of tension. You know who's going to get through, and there's if it one no, I don't want to spoil it or anything like that, but yeah, the game. So the first game, as you can see, is red light, green light, the classic one that they brought back from the first, and from there, the games might change a little bit. And what I really like about, I'm trying to work out what I want to say in this episode and what I don't want to say. Overall, I really liked it. I thought the character development was still there. The Jihan is, I'm going to butcher these names, but the main guy, Jihan, I thought I had a character list up, but I don't. We'll go with that, and if it's wrong, I apologise. I've been watching it in Korean, so the pronunciation I've been trying to kind of pick up on. But the main guy from the first one, and this isn't spoiler because you see this, he goes back into the games, and again, I think one of the strengths of the first Squid Games was the side cast, like the side characters, and it continues into season 2. I think some of the side characters in this are as strong as season 1 side characters. There is a few who I think are just copies of the first, and they're trying to a different spin, but it's not really working. But I certainly think there is some really strong, and there's some good connections in there, and some characters that you actually want to really see make it through. Apart from Jihan, the main one. I really hope I'm getting that right. Otherwise, I'm going to look so idiotic. And so yeah, the side characters are strong. You've got the ones that you're kind of rooting for, and you've obviously got the ones who you're like, oh, darn you, you know, I wish you would get your comeuppance. And story evolves, and their backstories get more. And I think they do a really good job of giving the side characters story some depth. There's some real moments where you're like, oh crap, I didn't think it was going to go that way. It is a little bit more predictable because we know how it works, and again, that's maybe where it falls into the liked category for me instead of loved. But I can't really talk about why without spoiling it, and I'm trying not to spoil it because it's so fresh. But overall, I think it's a continuation of Squid Games, and I think definitely the weakest part of the story is the stuff that is going outside of the games. Um, Again, not spoiling too much here, but the police officer who was there, he was found alive, and he's been hunting or looking at the islands to try and find out where these people are, to go back to the island to see if he can. And that's definitely the weakest part. It's going to be bigger. It definitely, that you can see where they're going with it. But at the minute, it's definitely the weakest part. They're not really focusing. They don't really focus on it a lot once the game starts. Like once the Squid Games start, they don't really focus on them as much, which might be the right thing in the short term. But I think in the long term, it might not be. It might not be. I may be giving a little bit away there. But overall, yeah, the games are gratuitous violence. They are I don't want to say they're fun because there's people dying, but they're the set pieces of the show, and I think it's well balanced with the character-driven story that we see. You see the bonds building between the games, and you can see from the trailer what they were. They actually have votes, and I actually think the votes are the most interesting part, and they had me hooked on. You knew it was going to happen, but the way it was done, the kind of back and forth, you're like, what's going to happen here? Are they going to go? Who's going to vote? It was really, I think, an integral part, and I think it broke up. Actually, was a nice new element to the games that I thought really added some value to the characters, to the story, and it shows the morality of the people in the games, and the themes of Squid Games are still there. Capitalism, money-driven society, what people are willing to do for money, and that's all there wrapped up. And again, I think it's really showcasing a real, just an anti-capitalist message, like how this could potentially at some point be our society, which is a scary thought. But hopefully not. Hopefully not. I'm like someone who likes to think on the more positive side. But yeah, the themes are all there. Like it's just a continuation of Squid Games. And while I loved the first one, I think season 2, I like it. Like as I say, I like it. It's probably borderline being loved, and I want to tell you why. But this is the no spoiler version. So if you definitely want to see why I think it doesn't reach the heights of the love, go watch that video. But for just now, without giving too much away, I think I've kind of hopefully communicated what I like about Squid Games 2, why you should perhaps watch it, why you should go back and watch season 1 if you've not. But definitely a quality made TV show. The sets, I feel like for the games they really upped the ante in terms of the sets. The games themselves are like, it didn't feel like it was just a cash grab. It felt like they put real time, real effort into continuing the story, and I'm going to end it there. I'm going to not say any more because I will spoil something, and I do not want to do that. So, let me know your general thoughts, not specific thoughts, because we want to keep this spoiler free, on the Squid Game Season 2. Hopefully I've communicated what I liked about it. If I haven't, then let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of Squid Game Season 2. Did you like it? Did you think it was a good continuation? Did you not? Do you think, if you can see where I'm going, watch the second video, where I go a bit more into detail, and I will hopefully learn the actual characters' names, because there's a lot. I will say that. I should know the main guy. Be definite with that. But the side characters, there is a lot. There is a lot, and I don't speak Korean, so the pronunciation of the names might not be up to snuff. I don't know Korean either. So, with all that being said, all that's left to say is any thoughts, comments, general hostile remarks, leave them below. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.